Welcome to the OE Coffee Lab. I'm Doug.
I'm Barb.
Together we're Orphan Espresso, and today we'd like to talk about coffee bean storage. And as you can see, this has something to do with Tightvac, storage canisters. But before you can really adequately address coffee storage issues, let's just kind of take a quick run over Beanology 101. Very elementary introduction to roasted coffee beans and what we can do in order to store them properly and make them last as long as we can. We don't want to waste beans, we don't want to waste money, and surely we don't want to waste coffee. And I don't want to waste your time. So when a coffee bean is first roasted, it's a pretty aggressive fellow. It's what's called hot. Now, it's too hot to drink. It's too hot to use. Many people consider that the taste of a freshly roasted coffee bean is grassy. It's gassy. There's quite a bit of CO2 that is stored into the coffee bean, introduced in there during the roasting. The bean is extremely dry, very low moisture content, but a period of rest needs to take place. The beans must rest, and during this rest period, there's quite a bit of the excess carbon dioxide is leaving the bean. And of the edginess is slowly going off of the bean. And it comes into a better balance. You are likely know that many coffee beans these days are marketed, sold in what are called valve bags. They're bags that have a little one-way, we always call them belly buttons, but they have a little one-way valve that theoretically allows the carbon dioxide to escape while preventing the air to get in. The atmospheric air is the big enemy for roasted coffee beans. For coffee, we have what's called the rule of 15s. That green coffee beans are good for 15 months, roasted coffee beans for 15 days, ground coffee beans 15 minutes, and brewed coffee 15 seconds, particularly in the case of espresso. Now during this 15-day period, certain things happen. After our 3 to 5 days of rest, let's just say we have a happy coffee bean. It's ready. Nice balance. It has all the characteristics that the roaster is trying to impart into the bean by whatever roast level it's taken. Let's say if it's a fruity bean, those are prominent and crisp. The balance of acidity is just right. And this is at post-roast, 3 to 5 days post-roast, depending on the bean. Now, this bean, being a living thing, does have a particular life cycle, and it's inevitable that it will age, and it will slowly become a little less vibrant. The fruits might go off of it, the balance might change a little bit, but what mostly happens is the accumulation of moisture, attacks from water, oxygen, will change some of the more delicate alkaloids in the coffee, and the bean will become what I kind of think of during this period of time between the 5th day post-roast and let's say 2 weeks, is that the bean just kind of becomes tired. It no longer has that snap and pop. It basically, it's kind of entering a period of its life cycle where it's on the downside. Theoretically, it will have been consumed by now, and if you have a good coffee storage system, you can usually avoid the real tired beans, and particularly you want to avoid the dead ones. Dead, stale, rancid, ugly, nasty beans. They don't grind. They're really a complete waste at this point. This life cycle of the coffee bean, of the roasted coffee bean, is inevitable. It's going to happen. You can use this little guide to your advantage in developing a system that will fit in with your levels of consumption, your ideas of convenience and economy, and make sure that you always have happy beans to drink, to use and drink. And happy beans to you. We'll be back in part 2 to talk about some specific solutions for your coffee storage.